to Deep Sleep Stories. Thank you to everyone who's been listening. If these stories help you relax or fall asleep, a short review, comment, or sharing the podcast with someone who might benefit is a simple and meaningful way to support the show so that we may continue to offer it for free. Now, take a slow, gentle breath and let's begin tonight's story.
Welcome to Deep Sleep Stories. Take a moment now to settle into the quiet space around you, letting every muscle in your body soften. As you feel yourself sinking deeper into relaxation, gently close your eyes or rest them on a soothing spot. Let your breath flow in a slow, comforting rhythm. Tonight you will drift away to a gentle evening in Santo Domingo, lulled by the soft hush of Caribbean rain. Breathe in the thought of warm raindrops pattering on ancient streets, and breathe out anything that no longer needs your attention. Let the day's worries float away, replaced by the promise of a restful journey into a scene of peaceful showers and subtle, rhythmic breezes. In this moment, allow the sounds of your own breath to become a subtle lullaby. As your lungs fill and empty, imagine the hush of distant ocean waves carrying away any lingering tension. Notice the weight of your arms and legs pressing down, supported and cradled. There is nothing to accomplish right now, nowhere you need to be. The world outside can gently pause as you surrender to the soft invitation of rest. Picture the skies above Santo Domingo graced by comforting clouds, each one filled with raindrops that reflect the golden glow of evening streetlights. Your mind can wander there now, guided by that comforting glow. Let your shoulders loosen, feeling them drop ever so slightly. If any part of you is still holding on to the day, let that tension melt away, as though it is evaporating on a warm breeze. Inhale slowly, appreciating each moment of fullness. Then exhale, releasing all heaviness. Focus on the quiet that unfolds in the distance, like rain settling onto palm leaves. Notice how your heartbeat slows, becoming steady and gentle. There is no rush. This is your chance to drift into a safe, soothing realm, where the only expectation is to rest. Sink deeper into that gentle feeling of security. As your breath becomes deeper and calmer, imagine a doorway before you, a simple, tranquil passageway that leads into the heart of Santo Domingo's evening air. You can step through whenever you wish, letting the warm humidity of the Caribbean envelop you in its gentle embrace. The twilight sky greets you with a soft glow, tinged with the subtle promise of raindrops. This is your invitation to explore a realm where each droplet is a lullaby, each breath an invitation to let go. Bask in that comforting notion a little longer, allowing your thoughts to become as gentle as the rain itself. Feel your eyelids grow heavier, as though every passing moment layers a new blanket of relaxation upon you. This is a space where time flows slowly, where the gentle hush of nature can cradle your spirit. Visualize a dimly lit street in the quiet heart of the city, edges softened by the delicate haze of warm rain. Let the gentle street lamps, the faint shimmering of puddles on old cobblestones, and the rhythmic tapping of raindrops all merge into a single calming presence. With each breath, you drift closer to that scene, allowing your mind to settle into its tranquil rhythms. Continue to breathe softly, allowing each inhalation to feel like a comforting expansion. Notice how your chest opens and relaxes as though welcoming the gentle breeze of the Caribbean Sea. Then, as you exhale, let any lingering thoughts dissolve, drifting away with the soft patter of falling rain. Let this cycle of breath and release coax you into stillness. You are on the threshold of a story that will unfold gently, step by step, in your mind. There is nothing to do now but allow the narrative to guide you toward a place of deep, restful peace. Embrace the warmth that resonates in your body. Let it radiate from your center, flowing through your arms and legs, reaching your fingertips and toes. You may feel a gentle tingling or a soft heaviness as though your body is surrendering to something larger and kinder than itself. The evening hush in Santo Domingo is calling, its tones mellow and reassuring. Let the last sliver of tension drift away on a gentle breeze. There is comfort in the stillness you are creating, a promise of serenity that awaits you in the drifting patter of rain. Now, with a slow, calming breath, let your mind begin its gentle journey. The story will unfold in the background, a quiet lullaby of words that asks nothing from you except to listen, or even let your attention wander as it wishes. If you choose to follow every detail, that is fine, and if you prefer to simply let the words wash over you like soft rain, that too is perfect. Let yourself become a quiet observer, drifting freely along. Soon, your thoughts will melt into a peaceful haze, and you can simply be at ease. It was a peaceful evening in Santo Domingo, just as the first gentle drops of rain began to fall. Soft clouds of gray moved lazily across the Caribbean sky, casting soothing shadows over the colonial streets. A young woman named Celia prepared for a serene night, feeling the deep hush of the city around her. The promise of rain had been in the air all day, an expectant warmth that lingered on every surface, from the colorful facades of old buildings to the tall palms that lined the avenue. When the rain finally arrived, it slipped over rooftops and trickled down balconies, introducing an atmosphere of tranquil intimacy to the city. In the quiet of her small apartment, Celia stood by the window, watching as drops began to dance upon the glass. Below her, the cobblestone streets shone under the golden lamplight, each puddle reflecting a tiny orb of amber radiance. She found comfort in these moments, when the city's typical bustle seemed to slow. Motorbikes took to shelter under archways, and pedestrians found refuge beneath awnings decorated with bougainvillea. The gentle hush of the rain felt like a soothing lullaby, weaving its way through the sounds of the city. Soft conversation, distant music, and the whisper of a breeze through palm fronds. Celia loved these quiet, rainy intervals. She had her own evening ritual whenever the skies opened up. She would prepare a pot of aromatic tea, take out her worn journal, and find a comfortable nook by the window. Sometimes she would simply watch the water as it shaped tiny rivers on the glass, or slip in shining beads down the fronds of the potted plants on her balcony. The apartment itself was humble, yet filled with small treasures. Shells collected from a recent trip to Boca Chica, hand-woven baskets from local artisans, and gently worn cushions that bore the subtle scent of ocean air. Everything within her space felt touched by the gentle spirit of the sea and the warm pulse of the city. Her mother had once described Santo Domingo's rainy evenings as a precious kind of magic, a time when the city revealed its softer side. She used to say that the raindrops here had their own unique rhythm, reminiscent of tropical drums played far off in the hills. Now, as she watched the drizzle grow heavier, Celia thought of that soft, percussive beat. It was mesmerizing to listen to the tempo of droplets on metal roofs and decorative iron railings. With each soft tap, the city seemed to sing its own lullaby, guiding every listening soul into a place of calm introspection. All around, lanterns flickered under doorways, casting patterns of light onto the glistening streets. While the day's heat clung to the walls, the raindrops offered a refreshing coolness that balanced the air. The city's old stones soaked up the moisture, carrying the fragrance of antiquity and gentle ocean breezes. In a small courtyard below Celia's apartment, a stray cat sheltered beneath a rustling bush, eyes half closed, content to rest in that quiet hour. Light breezes rustled the leaves, sending them into mild dances in the soft glow of the street lamps. In the comfort of her favorite chair, Celia sipped tea that tasted faintly of tropical hibiscus, letting the warmth bloom in her chest. She opened her worn journal, filled with sketches and little scribbles about nature. The pages were lined with impressions of rainy nights, doodles of the city's architecture, and heartfelt musings about the people she met on her afternoon walks. Tapping her pen on the paper, she tried to capture the gentle hush of this Santo Domingo shower in words. The task seemed delightful, yet nearly impossible. How to put into language the cozy murmur of the city when it rained, or the melodic swish of passing cars on wet roads, or the gentle hush of footsteps seeking shelter. She noted how the raindrops sparkled under the lamplights like little Caribbean fireflies, how the distant rumble of thunder sounded more like a comforting bass note than a warning, and how each window seemed to glow from within, hinting at stories unfolding behind the curtains. She observed the small details, the sweet, earthy smell of soil refreshed by water, the faint sound of laughter from neighbors next door, and the polished sheen of fruit vendors' carts, now tucked under tarps along the curb. Everything seemed to glisten with a renewed sense of wonder. Even inside her own snug space, the atmosphere felt enchanted. The soft glow of a single lamp fell over the wooden table, illuminating potted plants whose leaves bore drops that glistened like tiny jewels. The gentle swirl of steam from her teacup curled through the air, mirroring the slow dance of clouds outside. It felt like a night tailor-made for introspection, a pause from the everyday hustle. Celia reveled in that stillness. There was no need to hurry or plan. The rain was enough. A gentle presence that coaxed the city into a rare moment of calm. From the kitchen, the aroma of sizzling plantains drifted in, a comforting reminder of the dinner she was preparing. The low hiss of oil in the pan seemed to harmonize with the soft patter of rainfall. This was how she felt most at peace, surrounded by the small, homely comforts of her Dominican heritage, immersed in the slow pulse of life on a rainy day. Whenever she looked around, she noticed something new to appreciate. A play of light, a lingering fragrance, or the subtle music made by a city simply existing in the rain. Later that evening, she decided to venture onto her small balcony, sheltered enough to keep her dry. The moment she stepped outside, a soft wall of humid air greeted her, along with the sweet smell of wet jasmine wafting up from a neighboring garden. The raindrops were slow and steady now, collecting on the broad leaves of tropical plants and sliding down in a clean, refreshing trickle. She leaned on the iron rail, allowing her eyes to drift over the skyline of Santo Domingo. Faint glimmers of light shone from distant windows, and she could almost sense the gentle hush of countless people unwinding in the comfort of their homes. Down on the street, a musician sat under an overhang, sheltered from the shower. He idly plucked soft melodies on a guitar, letting the notes float through the damp air. Celia watched him with quiet wonder. The music seemed to dance with the rainfall, forming a tender duet that echoed along the old facades. It was the kind of scene that existed outside the boundaries of clocks and schedules, a moment that belonged to the hush of evening rather than the frenetic pulse of day. She let that simple beauty wash over her, as real and comforting as the warm glow of her lamp inside. In the soft light of dusk, the pastel buildings took on deeper hues, their once bright colors muted by the rain into gentle swaths of pink, blue, and yellow. A street vendor quickly closed up shop, cheerfully calling hasta mañana to a passing friend, the words blending with the rhythmic drumming of water on the pavement. The city was not silent. Santo Domingo rarely was, but its noise had mellowed into something akin to a lullaby. Each scattered sound, an engine revving in the distance, laughter from a nearby kitchen, even the quiet squeak of a bicycle's brakes seemed softened, wrapped in the hush of the weather. Celia felt that hush extend inward, calming her own thoughts. Any worries left over from the day dissolved, replaced by a gentle acceptance. She was grateful for the chance to simply be, without pressing obligations or the need for distraction. The city and the weather were enough. She could rest in their gentle presence, letting the melody of raindrops guide her into deeper layers of tranquility. After a while, she returned inside, sliding the balcony door shut, leaving just a small gap for the steady hum of the shower to filter through. She turned off the overhead light, letting only the soft lamp glow remain, then settled onto a cushion near the window. The hours drifted by in the most natural way. Sometimes she would jot a line in her journal. Other times she would close her eyes and listen, letting the rainfall become her personal lullaby. Occasionally, distant thunder would roll, low and resonant, like a gentle drum beat far across the horizon. Through it all, the night stretched out in a serene tapestry of shadow and light. Celia felt a deep sense of connection, not just to the city she called home, but to something more expansive, a rhythm that pulsed beneath all things, from the warm ocean waters to the heights of the rolling clouds. Celia's window offered a shifting portrait of Santo Domingo's nighttime show. Street lamps lent a nostalgic feel to the cobblestones below, turning them into miniature mirrors that reflected gold and copper sparks. Palm trees swayed in the breeze, occasionally spraying droplets that shimmered in arcs as they fell. The hush of the city after sundown, especially on a night like this, resonated with a timelessness that Celia found both comforting and slightly mystical. She imagined the countless stories that had played out on these streets over the centuries, each era marked by similar rains, gentle and cleansing. Her mind wandered to the old colonial district just a short walk away, where centuries-old cathedrals and museums held the city's storied past. She pictured the thick stone walls glistening in the rain, doors closed for the evening, windows reflecting the subtle flicker of lanterns. Even there, the hush would be palpable. Beneath the grand arches, puddles would form, and in hidden courtyards, vines would soak in the moisture, blossoming with renewed life by morning. In her imagination, she saw the city's oldest paths, lit by a gentle glow, all echoing with the same soothing patter of raindrops. Her thoughts continued drifting, slow and unhurried. She remembered a childhood memory, running barefoot through a warm rain shower in her grandmother's garden, the grass soft beneath her toes, droplets on large tropical leaves glistening like tiny jewels. That memory felt close tonight, as if the present moment opened a channel to her past. The sense of wonder she had felt, then lived on in these evening showers. Maybe that was why each raindrop still felt magical, carrying a playful spark that connected her to simpler times. Hour by hour, the rainfall ebbed and flowed, sometimes mere whispers, sometimes a quiet crescendo tapping on the balcony rail. Celia watched the city respond in subtle ways. Windows would open just a crack to let in the fresh, rain-kissed air. Cats would dart beneath cars, their ears pricked to the sound of dripping water. Nearby families would gather in living rooms, sharing warm meals as the weather lulled them into gentle conversation. The entire tableau suggested a collective slowing down, a willingness to pause in the embrace of the evening's hush. In the corner of her living room, a small candle flickered, sending a faint glow onto the walls. Sometimes Celia would watch the flame dance, mesmerized by its delicate sway. Other times, she found herself gazing out the window, seeing how the raindrops shifted in the lamplight. In either focus, flame or rain, she discovered endless patterns, each so quietly enthralling. She appreciated how the simplest things could inspire calm and gratitude. In this atmosphere, even the ticking of her clock felt soothing, marking time in gentle intervals rather than rushing it along. Across the street, she glimpsed another window glowing softly behind sheer curtains. For a fleeting moment, she wondered about the person living there, what they might be doing on this rainy night, what dreams and musings occupied their thoughts. Yet her curiosity was mild, never intrusive. It was enough to sense the shared stillness, the collective hush that bound the neighborhood in this nocturnal spell. She found comfort in the knowledge that in these quiet, rain-washed hours, people could find a moment's respite from the hustle of the day. Eventually the night wore on. Celia's tea grew cold, and her journal pages filled with drifting words. The hush of the rain never truly left. It only adapted, sometimes soft as a whisper, sometimes gathering into a gentle chorus on roofs and awnings. She felt her eyes grow heavy, lulled by the synergy of the weather, the comforting glow of the lamp, and the faint hum of distant traffic. She noticed her breath falling into a slower rhythm, as if coaxed by some gentle lullaby, only half heard. She let her eyelids flutter closed, resting in the knowledge that the world was at ease. In the cozy darkness behind her eyelids, she imagined stepping into the nighttime streets, feeling warm droplets on her skin. She pictured wandering through the colonial district, hearing the echoes of centuries hidden in the stone walls. She saw tiny lights in hidden courtyards, glowing with a hush that was almost sacred. Even the occasional rumble of thunder was a comfort, like a friendly reminder of nature's power, softened into something that guided rather than startled. Each step in her mind's eye carried her deeper into the heart of Santo Domingo's serene rainfall. At times, Celia thought she heard the faint notes of the street musician's guitar again, though she couldn't be certain if it was real or imagined. The melody swayed like gentle waves under a passing ship, each chord resonating with the patter of droplets. She let that harmony guide her into a calmer space, her body feeling weightless, as though rocking in a quiet hammock strung between two palm trees. Whenever she grew aware of her posture, she let her shoulders and arms relax further, granting herself permission to sink into the cushions. In that half-dreaming state, she conjured images of the Caribbean Sea rolling onto a rain-drenched shore, the waves meeting the beach with gentle foamy sighs. Moonlight shimmered on the water, silver edges gleaming across the dark ocean. The very air tasted of salt and damp wind. It was an invitation to slow even further, to melt into the lull of nature's steady rhythms. She allowed these visions to rise and fall without grasping too tightly, trusting in the soothing tapestry they created in her mind. As the night ventured deeper, the pace of the rainfall grew steadier and more subdued, as if the sky were carefully rationing each drop. The hush outside matched the hush within Celia's apartment. No loud voices or clamor disturbed the calm, only the soft hum of life continuing at a mellow pace. She sometimes heard a distant car gliding over wet streets, or the shuffle of footsteps heading home, but these sounds were gentle punctuation marks in the long sentence of night. The candle on her table eventually burned low, its flame shrinking to a faint flicker. Celia took it as a soft signal that it was time to rest. She rose from her seat by the window and prepared for bed, moving as quietly as possible so as not to disturb the peaceful mood that had settled so firmly around her. She turned off the lamp, leaving only the glow from the street light outside, filtered through raindrops on the window. With that gentle illumination, she slipped into bed, a soft sheet draped over her, welcoming the coolness of the evening air. Still, the city's lullaby continued. Raindrops were her nighttime companions, each one a tiny drumbeat of solace. She heard them tapping on the roof, sliding across the window pane, and gathering in small rivulets that trickled down to the balcony. It was as though the entire world had agreed to tiptoe, mindful that night should remain undisturbed. She felt that hush enfold her like a velvety cloak, allowing her mind to wander freely in a realm of warm and comforting dreams. Drifting between wakefulness and slumber, Celia thought of how life in the tropics was marked by these cycles of heat and rain, sun and soft breezes. Each passing day carried the promise of renewal, whether it arrived on the breeze off the sea or in the gentle drizzle of a rainy evening. She felt grateful for this simple truth, that every shower brought its own form of cleansing and respite. By the time sleep fully claimed her, she was carried into a dreamscape that echoed the gentle patter of Santo Domingo's rain, a place where each drop was a note in a cosmic lullaby. Morning would come eventually, revealing washed streets and bright leaves. But for now, the night was eternal in its stillness. The hush of the rain persisted, and the city dozed contentedly in its embrace. In her final moments of wakefulness, Celia sighed contentedly, welcoming the deep rest that beckoned. The world outside, with all its complexities, felt paused. All that remained was the simple melody of a tropical shower, whispering of peace, serenity, and a quiet, enduring grace. Let the scene of that soft, rainy evening fill your thoughts now. Imagine the gentle hush lingering in the air, the puddles glistening under the faint glow of street lamps, and the comforting warmth that lulls an entire city into rest. As you breathe, notice how the body feels a little heavier, a little more at ease. Your breath has likely slowed, and your muscles have relaxed even more. This is the invitation of the night, to let go of any resistance, to surrender to an even deeper quiet. Feel the softness gathering around you like a warm shawl. Let the gentle images of Santo Domingo's rain drift in and out of your awareness. If you choose, you might focus on a single raindrop, imagining how it falls, lands, and then merges into a puddle, a tiny moment of surrender that mirrors your own release into rest. The hush of the city, the subdued lights, and the steady patter all serve as reminders that this is the time to truly unwind. Notice your breathing now. Each inhale filling you with the calm of that tropical air, and each exhale allowing you to melt further into comfort. Any stray thoughts can dissolve, just as raindrops dissolve into the sea, leaving the mind smooth and still. If you feel any tension in your body, you can let it drain away, carried by the flow of these imagined rains. There is a spaciousness within you, a serene openness that welcomes only the gentlest of feelings now. Relax, dear traveler. Sink into the tranquil pace that has been woven by the rainfall and the old city's quiet streets. There is nothing more you need to do, no effort required. Let your mind drift, unbound, through dreams and soft shadows. The night offers you its most precious gift, deep, renewing sleep. Embrace it. Allow its gentle rhythms to cradle you, as though the raindrops themselves are carrying you into a realm of peace and safety. Good night, dear traveler. May the lullaby of Santo Domingo's showers guide you into sweet, restorative dreams. Sleep well. Let the hush of the night envelop you fully, carrying you closer to the stillness of true rest. The rain, soft and rhythmic, will stand guard over your slumber, ensuring a calm and quiet passage through the evening hours. Close your eyes and let go, letting each breath lull you into a deep and gentle sleep. Sleep well.